All right, we'll see you next week.
First round playoffs, today's the day, and it gets no better than the NBA. If you made it this far, then you're well on your way, and we don't want to talk no more, just play.
Detroit's hard work gets hot and heavy. Will the #1 seed and Ben Wallace be ready? T-Mac got the magic, flick of the wrist. He can go for hours. Now watch this.
You want to know who won, how, and when? The NBA playoffs on ESPN.
The #1 seed in the East, the Detroit Pistons, swing into playoff action on ESPN. They host the 8th seed, the Orlando Magic, but not much difference between 1 and 8. Only 8 victories separate the top from the bottom qualifier in the Eastern Conference. Happy Easter, everybody. Along with Sean Elliott, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. A couple of stories to get to right away. #1, Ben Wallace, the dominating rebounder for Detroit. Injured knee. Will he go today? What's his status?
No question. Ben Wallace is about 80–90%, but at that percentage, he's still more dominant than the majority of the centers in this league. Expect to see a rebounding and a shot blocking machine.
He changes the look completely of this Pistons team, leading the NBA in rebounding for the 2nd straight season. He won the shot blocking title a year ago and almost captured that again before finishing behind Theo Ratliff. But now let's turn our attention to Orlando. Everybody knows about Tracy McGrady, but there's some other concerns here as far as Detroit is concerned.
Well, Tracy McGrady, easily the most dominant scorer in this league, averaging 32 points a game this year. But you also have to look at the role players, and they have not seen Drew Gooden or Gordon Gierczek in an Orlando Magic uniform this year. These guys lift the team both emotionally and physically. You look at those numbers for Gooden. He's a high-energy player. He's going to continue to crash the glass. And Gierczek is a savvy European player who can knock the shot down from outside or take the ball to the bucket.
There's a buzz in this crowd. There's a real feel in the Motor City about Tracy McGrady in Orlando. Remember, this is a city whose beloved hockey team was just swept away by Anaheim. Now they're counting on Ben Wallace and the Pistons to restore the lost luster to the Motor City. The tip-off is next.
One of the big questions in Detroit this afternoon, how do you slow that young man down? Tracy McGrady dropped 46 on Christmas Day against the Pacers. Against the Pistons. Welcome to Playoff Central. Kevin Frazier, Tim Legler. And you know what, Tim? What a fantastic start to the playoffs yesterday. I think that it exceeded expectations.
Yeah, we got some great matchups and great finishes. This is going to be a fun time.
No, I think it is going to be fun. Meanwhile, we start with a news away from the court, and it's not great news. Yesterday, after their 109-96 loss, 3 members of the Milwaukee Bucks boarded a plane with their lawyers. Sam Cassell, Gary Payton, and Jason Caffey boarded a plane with their lawyers, headed to Toronto, where they surrendered to authorities. The players are accused of assault stemming from an April 11th altercation outside a Toronto area gentlemen's club. Now, according to a police spokesman in Toronto, the charges that the players face are relatively minor. They were released on what they call in Canada a Form 11, which is the same as personal recognizance, and they are back with the team now in New Jersey. But you have to look back at the New Jersey-Milwaukee Bucks game yesterday, Tim, and you look at Gary Payton's performance. He was one of the 3 players that went to Toronto after the game. He was 0 for 7 in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, Kevin, and guys are going to try to tell you that it's not going to affect them, but come on. Gary Payton is one of the greatest playoff performers in NBA history. He comes to play in the playoffs. To not have a field goal for 3.5 quarters and go 0 for 7 and get dominated by Jason Kidd in a game that's very important. Game 1 is such an important game in a series. I know it was affecting him mentally. You can't tell me it's not. They might try to say it's not, but it has to be affecting him. When you know you have to go to Toronto after the game, it's got to be affecting you mentally. It hurt him in yesterday's performance.
I mean, legal problems clouding the Milwaukee Bucks' performance in Game 1. Meanwhile, you wonder if a knee problem will cloud Ben Wallace's performance. The Magic and Pistons coming up next.
ESPN's.
There's always something special about a playoff opener. The crowd revved up. Big Ben has just told Ben Wallace being introduced to this standing room sellout crowd. Sal Masekela is with us, and Sal, I saw you speaking with Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, I got some time to spend with Tracy McGrady in the locker room, and let me tell you something. The leading scorer in this league was cool, calm, and collected. He was very gathered. He was laughing a lot. I asked him, I said, how are you feeling, man? He said, mentally, I'm great. Physically, I'm great. And he really, really knows that they're going to try and come at him with these double teams right off the back. And he said, I hope they bring the double team because they're going to see that I have confidence in Garrity, Girasek, and Gordon, and they're going to see what these guys can do. Back to you, Brett.
All right, Sal. I got to say, Sean, Sal's got the best locks this side of, well, Ricky Williams down there in Miami.
Yeah, I'd like to see him standing next to Ben Wallace. I wonder whose do is more impressive.
Here's our Bud Light starting lineups, and Ben Wallace will be there. As you can see, Girasek. DeClerc will start instead of Hunter for Orlando. A little more experience on the floor against the veteran Cliff Robinson up front. Into the backcourt, of course, Rip Hamilton fighting some butterflies. This for Hamilton, his first playoff appearance. He never made the playoffs as a member of the Washington Wizards. Chauncey Billups has been an outstanding story as far as the Pistons are concerned, as he has taken over that point guard spot. Rick Carlisle in his second season as the Pistons coach and has guided this team to the best record in the East. He won a tough 5-gamer against Toronto, matched against Doc Rivers, one of the nicest coaches in the NBA. Just a wonderful person to be around. And here's his leader, Tracy McGrady, coming out to go to war. You know the stat. You've heard it on Sports Center all weekend. It bears repeating. In NBA history, the team that has won Game 1 of a best-of-7 playoff series has gone on to win that series 80% of the time. I'm sure your friends down in San Antonio wanted to turn down the volume when I just said that.
You're stabbing me, Brent.
I know. Man, what a finish that was.
Yeah, that was just absolutely bizarre.
Here we go. The Pistons control the tap, and this is Billups. Played collegiately out of Colorado. Right away, they set that high pick and roll. Wallace comes out on top, moving the ball around now. The Pistons not known for their offense. They bring that shot clock down. It'll be Wallace pump fake, and his first shot is rejected.
Wow, you see Drew Gooden coming from the weak side, and that's that energy you're talking about. Nice up fake by Ben Wallace. Again, a nice pump fake, but Drew Gooden out of nowhere, and he's going to bring that type of energy and attitude all game long.
Brady off the missed shot by Billups. A message delivered early by the rookie Gooden in his first playoff game.
He's an X factor for this Orlando team.
Brady gets a rub by Girasek. Now he gets inside. Too big for Hamilton, but couldn't put it away. And Wallace with his first defensive board.
You see Ben Wallace there to come over. He comes over and he helps contest that shot by Tracy McGrady. Otherwise, Tracy has a better look at it.
Hamilton, as he tried to move past Girasek, was fouled.
Well, you're going to need all kinds of defensive effort to stop Tracy McGrady. Ben Wallace there to help that last possession. He's going to have to come from the weak side all afternoon long.
It looked like Girasek was going to play Hamilton very aggressively. This time with a screen, and Girasek over to block the ball out of bounds. So that is blocked by Gooden and Girasek, two players who did not participate because they had not been traded by Memphis yet in the 3 games that these two teams played. The Pistons won 2 of the 3, but they got beat up pretty badly on Christmas Day. McGrady hit him for 46. Cliff Robinson.
A good sign for Cliff Robinson. Hit his first bucket of the game. Nice penetration, using his strength to push aside Drew Gooden.
DeClerc out to screen high. Here's Jacques Vaughn. Another big move by Doc Rivers was putting Jacques Vaughn in as his starting point guard. Now McGrady on a clear out left, his favorite spot. Flashes basket. Not there, rebound Robinson.
Both Robinson and Ben Wallace are waiting on Tracy McGrady that possession.
Robinson at the top of the circle misses the 3, and it's all blue underneath.
I'll tell you what, the Orlando Magic have come out the first several possessions here and played some remarkable defense.
McGrady blows into Wallace, and the offensive foul is called. McGrady forcing things just a little bit. Would you agree, Sean, offensively?
Yeah, and he has 2 or 3 people shadowing him. Ben Wallace is everywhere that Tracy McGrady is going. It's almost like you have a linebacker who's assigned just to the quarterback.
Phillips, defended by Vaughn as Hamilton jumps out, brings Guracek, flashes to the basket, and the foul. Wow. And this goes against Hamilton on the drive. 2 charging calls here in the early going.
Well, that's a close one there. It looked like DeKirk got over there a little late. Nice collision, all kinds of meat just slapping.
We are seeing early the Pistons' tempo and style of play. Down and dirty, a lot of banging, and a low-scoring game. And Guracek nails one for Orlando to tie it at 2.
He's a big-time advantage for the Magic because the Pistons haven't seen him a lot this year. This is a guy who's savvy. He's one of the European players that can fill it up, and he could take that ball to the bucket too, Brent. A real hard driver.
Gooden chasing Robinson, who flashes to the basket. Tough shot. Gooden off with the rebound. The rookie did a good job on him. Here comes Gooden. Wants to go offensively. Short on the shot, but he got himself daylight with a good fake that time. Gooden is off very well in this game.
He's an exciting rookie player at 6'10". He has the size, and he has the energy and the athletic ability to contend with Ben Wallace and Cliff Robinson in that paint area.
Over the top now to Robinson. He's got Phillips over here on the right side. Crossover, right baseline, double teamed, loose. Here comes Gooden out for the Magic. In a foot race, Robinson switches. Gooden tries to come in on him, and Robinson forced to foul him.
I'm looking at Ben Wallace right now. He's not as quick, I should say, getting up and down the basketball court, but he is mobile left to right. He's been there to help out on Tracy McGrady inside the paint area numerous times, but watch his movement running up and down the floor.
How tough is it defensively as Gooden puts the Magic ahead for the first time? These 2 teams right now are a combined 2 of 11 from the floor. McGrady, the scoring leader, is 0 for 2 with a turnover. And Gooden puts the Magic up by 2.
Well, these 2 rookies for the Magic are just X factors because the Pistons are really not prepared for what they can bring to this series. Again, Guracek is an outstanding scorer, guy who's played professional ball overseas for a lot of years, so he has experience.
Chasing Hamilton that time and fouling him.
Guracek about 6'6", put the ball on the floor, an outstanding shooter if you leave him alone. Guy who's going to penetrate, take the ball all the way to the bucket if given the opportunity. And you have Drew Gooden again, another guy, 6'10", shot blocker, showed you early on in this game that he means business, and he's an excellent rebounder as well.
But because of that second foul on Guracek, Doc will have to go to the bench right away, and it looks like he has Darrell Armstrong up over there on the side. So Guracek chasing Hamilton, 2 quick fouls, leaves, and Armstrong is in. Early advantage for the Pistons here as Guracek has to sit.
Right, yeah, all that talk about Guracek and Gooden, you still have to contain with guys like Rip Hamilton, who's unbelievable coming off screens. He reminds you of Reggie Miller, the way these guys work without the basketball. They'll just wear you out, running you around screens.
Armstrong and Vaughn working together in the backcourt. Curry chasing McGrady to start the game. Doing a good job hounding the basketball that time. Curry, a quiet scorer, but works hard defensively, and that's the strength of this Pistons team is their defense. They held opponents to fewer than 90 points a game, toughest in the NBA.
He's a solid all-around player.
Armstrong off the bench nails the 3.
Another energy guy, high energy guy. Darrell Armstrong, one of my favorite players in the league because he never stops. He's going to pester you beyond belief. He's going to get all over you on the defensive end. He's going to knock down shots on the offensive end.
So Jacques Vaughn picking up his first personal. The 7:51 mark. You can see how low scoring this is. Baskets are going to be hard to come by.
That's unusual. You say that during an Orlando Magic game. Giving up a ton of points this year.
Curry on a cut to the rack. And one.
Oh, they're going to have to discuss this. One has a charge and one has a block. Nice pass on that double team. You see the clerk has his foot still in that dotted area. He's got to get outside that, especially if you're the lone defender back there. Good call to block.
Gooden awkwardly slipped as he was taking the ball out of bounds. There might be some moisture down there, and someone will have to come out. Well, let's check in with Sal.
Well, you know, guys, I was talking to assistant coach Mark Hughes of the Orlando Magic, and he said that because of this energy you've been talking about, Sean, because these guys are just going to run the way they have all season, he thought that this game could get to be in the low 90s or actually even into the hundreds. And I was wondering, Sean, what you thought about that relative to what we've seen so far.
Right now, both these teams are still trying to feel each other out.
And McGrady with the two.
And you know what happens, Brent, so often in playoff games, or games where you're just hyped up, you come out and you expend a ton of energy in those first 5 minutes. You get a little winded, you get a little blown out, and it takes you a little while to settle in. Once these teams settle in, you're going to see some more offense.
And the turnover. Bounce pass, and they turn it back over. Robinson into the passing lane for the Pistons, and they'll bring it down. Pistons trailing here by 2. 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Kirk doing a good job on Wallace down low. Another effort now for Orlando. Hamilton fires one, and Wallace couldn't put it away. Had a chance. Armstrong, pull up. Misfiring. Gooden flashes. Now there's de Klerk's hustle. No, and it's Wallace.
And you see how Drew Gooden and de Klerk are keeping that ball alive on the offensive glass.
Phillips misses the 3. Hamilton can't tap it back in. As of right now, this game has no chance of reaching 100.
Well, if they settle down, you are going to see some high scoring.
Curry hounding McGrady, sees his baseline. Beautiful wraparound, powerful move by the NBA's scoring leader. No stopping athletic ability like that.
Hey, Brent, you cannot find an athlete in any professional sport besides basketball that can pull that move off. I don't care what you bring to the table. This guy is a supreme talent. Hey, he got up in the air on that move. I thought he was going to pass it off to somebody along the baseline or out in the wing. That's spectacular.
Worth one more look here, Sean. Just watch.
How can you stop this? Takes off on the left side of the lane, lands on the right side, around Cliff Robinson, and puts a lot of English. Minnesota Fats would be proud of that shot.
The beauty of long arms. McGrady plays like he's a 7-footer.
Kevin Frazier and Tim Legler with this update. We flash back to last night, the Blazers and Mavericks, and Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Legler, unstoppable.
This is why he's one of the tough matchups in the league. He can take you off the dribble, shoot the 3. He was phenomenal last night. Had almost half of Dallas's points, 46.
Inside, outside, he was 16 of 27 from the floor, 4 of 5 from three-point range. Meanwhile, Chris Webber did his thing as the Kings sneaked by the Jazz 96-90. Both of those are 1-0 leads. Gentlemen.
All right, Kevin, Tracy McGrady here didn't score in the first 4.5 minutes. He now has the last 4 points in the game. Orlando ahead 11-7. It's worth one more look. And there are some very interested youngsters watching this play, especially one young man by the name of LeBron James, wearing a Chicago Bull jersey. The young man better get ready here. And Sean, I imagine he's getting his eyes full here when he comes to watch playoff action. It's not high school anymore.
No, it's not. And you give him one tip, just let him know that he needs to be in the best shape of his life when he comes into this league next year. It's a completely different ball game.
Robinson backing in, swinging to the inside. Knocked back to Phillips. I think there's something on the shot clock not recycling, and Tim Downey points up at the clock, working with Bennett Salvatore and Derek Stafford here today. A reminder that you can log on to the special NBA.com playoff section throughout the postseason. Get history, news, features, series breakdowns only on NBA.com. Another thing, folks, you dial up NBA.com a little bit later tonight, you get a box score on this game. I know because I do that in the morning during the regular season. And they've got a version that's printable on that. And it's kind of fun for you super fans out there to have the same kind of box score that the coaches and the media are looking at following a game. You know, you always see the coaches with that white sheet of paper in their hand. They're staring at the numbers. So the shot clock, like I said, is being reset. 3 seconds here for the Pistons. Hamilton up firing. T-Mac will put it down on the floor and bring it up. The Piston guards are 0 for 6 from the field.
How far Tracy McGrady had to catch that ball outside the three-point line.
Armstrong's 3 into Phillips' hands. So Phillips would like to get the guards going here if he can.
Phillips had an exceptional year. Guys shooting the three ball with a high percentage, and he could take the ball to the bucket as well. He's been a great floor leader.
Phillips and Wallace didn't pick it right up, but did draw the foul. And, you know, John, here in the early going, we have to talk about this. The Pistons are having trouble finding points. And when you talk to folks around the NBA, especially in the East, the reason why the #1 seed was not an overwhelming pick to win the Eastern Conference was the fact they didn't think this team could generate enough offense in the course of a 7-game series.
Exactly, and that's where, you know, the respect has been lacking because they don't put a lot of points on the board. They're an excellent defensive team, but you need somebody who can put some points in on a consistent basis. Yes, you have Rip Hamilton, who's an excellent shooter. Chauncey Billups has had an outstanding career. Cliff Robinson at times can put the ball in the bucket. But you need that guy, another scorer out there, a dead-eye shooter, a guy who can mix it up, put the ball on the floor. And, you know, if they happen to get somebody in the draft, I believe they have somebody's draft pick this year. We're talking to Matt Novak, their media relations guy. They have a high pick this year. They're able to secure a small forward or a guy who can score the basketball. They're only a player or 2 away.
Well, let's talk about their bench because Corliss Williamson could come in and be a very big player in here. You've also got John Berry over there, even the veteran Danny Manning. So it's a very deep bench, and Hamilton continues to miss fire. He told one of the coaches that he was nervous as he prepared for his first NBA playoff game. He was honest, but it's something the coach didn't want to hear. Jacques Vaughn comes up missing, and Garrity, who has come in for his first playing time, is fouled as he goes up for the rebound. Now this is the bench, and you can see Corliss Williamson. He was the 6th man of the year a year ago in the NBA. He's the second from the left there. He waits his time to come in. He's a terrific one-on-one player. Big nasty. So if they're going to find some points, they may have to turn over to that bench more than they would have liked here in the early going against Orlando. On the turnover. But it's Rip Hamilton, their leading scorer, that they're trying to shake loose here, along with Billups. Billups in the paint. They still can't buy a hoop from that backcourt.
And I'll tell you right now, the Orlando Magic are playing much better defense than I've seen them play in the regular season. They're swarming. They're playing terrific contained defense. They're not allowing a ton of penetration, and they're rebounding the basketball. That's where Gooden comes in. You know, he's done an excellent job rebounding the ball after the trade. Guy had a couple double-doubles as soon as he hit the Orlando Magic team.
Detroit now is 3 of 14 from the floor as Robinson hits from the perimeter to tie it now at 11. Inside it goes McGrady, and T-Mac with another field goal.
I thought that ball was out of bounds. I thought that ball had too much velocity on it. I was sure that it was headed into the stands. Tracy McGrady caught that with his left hand, transferred it to his right, and laid that ball in with soft touch. Brent, you see receivers like that on the football field?
It's exactly like Terrell Owens, a former basketball player in college, might be going up for one of the end zone. Man, what body control after he caught that.
And that ball was high. It was about the top of the square. It just gave Michael Curry a fake like he was headed up to the top of the key, coming off the screen, went back door. just, with a guy like Tracy McGrady, you just throw it anywhere near the rim, and he has such long arms, excellent timing that you know that he's going to come down with the basketball.
He has scored the Magic's last 6 points.
And most other players, Brent, that's a bad pass. And then if you're the defender and you're guarding McGrady, it makes you a little gun shy. You don't want to be so aggressive, denying him the basketball when you know he can go backdoor on you any second.
Armstrong missing the shot. Phillips to the attack with the Pistons and Magic tied here at 13. Away from the ball. Contact underneath. Garrity. Watching Garrity carefully. Was unable to practice the other day. They need Garrity to open things up on the floor, Doc was telling us, for Tracy McGrady. But Garrity becomes an extremely important member of the Magic offense. And in the last game that they played, he was 4 of 5 from three-point range right here in Detroit.
Well, if you're the Pistons, you know you cannot leave Pat Garrity because he's going to knock him down from three-point range. But if you're the Magic, you want him out there on the floor just so it creates more room for Tracy McGrady.
Flash turnaround, and now it's 8 straight.
And Michael Curry was all over that shot. Tracy McGrady is able to fall back, and he's so long and elevates so high, there's no way that you can get to that shot.
Phillips forcing.
Yeah, right now the Pistons look like they're just out of sync offensively. They're really struggling to even get a good look at the bucket.
Waiting, couldn't get McGrady free. And so it'll be Armstrong putting it into T-Mac's hands. Curry knocks this one away. Hamilton now in a breakout. That could get him going. Bounce pass at the other end to Armstrong. Here's Gooden powering in, and the rookie puts one down on Wallace to put Orlando back into the lead.
That's a veteran move. Very un-rookie-like for him to come down with the basketball and challenge Ben Wallace in the block.
Garrity again on the inside. We've got a timeout. Tracy McGrady now 4 of 6 from the field. He has scored Orlando's last 8 points.
Now watch this fadeaway jumper. Curry trying to contest that. Just too long and too athletic. And here's the alley-oop. Look at this athletic ability. Guy catches the ball at the top of the square, lays it in with soft touch. Tracy McGrady, unbelievable talent.
The Orlando Magic shooting 41%, but Detroit can't take advantage of that. They're shooting only 22%. They're only 4 of 18 from the floor, Sean.
Detroit just struggling to score the basketball right now. And I'm really surprised here at the intensity of the Orlando Magic defense. And Tracy McGrady, you see, they're all over him. They're going to try to mix it up. Michael Curry, one of the best perimeter defenders on this team. He has size, nice, strong hands. And he's forcing Tracy McGrady to catch up ball 2-3 feet outside the three-point line. Try to take him outside of his comfort zone. And that's the whole key when you're guarding a big-time scorer. If you let them catch the ball in their spots, they're going to destroy you.
Mehmet Okur and Corliss Williamson have checked into the game now as the Pistons go to their bench. So we're going to get our first look at Okur, the young man from Turkey.
Hey, you guys, talking about that Magic defense, one thing Tracy McGrady told me, he said, we have got to man up. That's the one thing that we've worked on all week, is making sure that we man up really, really hard on these guys and show them that we're not intimidated by this team. He said this is a team that is solely predicated on defense right now.
McGrady on fire right now. They cannot put him out. After starting the game 0 for 2, he has now hit his last 5 from the field.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Corliss Williamson. Corliss outweighs Tracy McGrady easily by 20 or 30 pounds, but that doesn't translate into more speed.
That's a tough call on Garrity here at the other end.
Here's McGrady, nice little jab step. He keeps you off balance, and he's able to rise up into that jumper And you see, there's no way you can get to that shot. It's almost tough to impair his vision with your hands. He jumps so high.
So with Tracy McGrady over on the bench, and Garrity now saddled with his second personal foul. Sean Kemp gets up for Orlando. So both Garrity and McGrady are out at the same time. Corliss Williamson is on the floor for the Pistons, along with Hamilton and Billups and Occur, along with Ben Wallace. So now Carlisle will attempt to get some better firepower with Williamson on the floor, if nothing else. They desperately need some offense.
Well, that's what you do. You put Corliss Williamson in the blocks against a lighter guy, and then he puts him in the torture chamber.
And Occur jumps out on Armstrong. That's his first personal. What about Occur's upside coming from Turkey?
Tremendous. Another guy, you know, they're playing overseas with a wider lane, so you see a lot of the centers can play facing the basket. And this guy can play facing the basket or with his back to the bucket and can go outside with range. And he's just a rookie.
Kemp is out to screen high for Whitney. Takes it on a pick and roll, gets it back and misfires on the shot. Gooden to save it, puts it into Armstrong's hand. Gooden very athletic, very active. Armstrong misses the three. Wallace can't get the rebound because Gooden gets over there. And now it is Whitney, spot up three.
I was with Whitney in San Antonio, and he used to give Avery Johnson fits in practice. Those guys used to have some battles. And Chris Whitney can put the ball on the floor, and he's an excellent shooter. And if he gets it going, he's a guy who can really fill it up.
Magic 22 and the Pistons 19.
And you can also see on that possession how the Orlando Magic are going to crash the glass.
Well, they want Williamson to go. Hamilton gave it right back to him, and the defense was ready. This is a very positive start for Orlando. A lot of good things are developing here in the early going.
It looks like they have 6 or 7 blue jerseys on the floor as much as these guys are scrambling.
Kemp from the left side. He kicks one down, and now it is 24-19. The lead is 5. That's their biggest lead of the game.
You have Kemp stepping outside, hitting jumpers. You have Gooden alive on the glass. You have Hunter in the game now. He's a shot blocker.
And Billups continuing to miss at the buzzer here as the first quarter comes to an end. Chauncey Billups was 0 for 6. 0 for 6 from the field. The Pistons shoot only 20% against Orlando, a team that came in with the league's leading scorer, Tracy McGrady, and ends the first quarter with everyone talking about their D. Go figure.
Game of the day on Saturday, the Suns and Spurs. Time ticking down in regulation, down by 3. Amari Stoudemire, his 3rd 3 of the year, and he kisses off the glass. We go to OT. Final second, Stephon Marbury uses the glass again, and the 8 seed stuns the number 1 seed, 96-95. Of course, the Phoenix Suns have a long history of stealing games with last-second shots. 1997, the joy of Rex Chapman in the first round, game 4. And then, of course, the 76 NBA Finals. In the second overtime, we go to 3 with Gar Heard's game winner. Brent Musburger, you called that game. Was it the greatest game ever?
Well, first of all, Boston won it in the 3rd overtime. Everyone still remembers it. I wish, Kevin, that I got residuals on ESPN Classic. I could have retired a long time ago. That was an unbelievable basketball game. A fellow by the name of Glenn McDonald out of Long Beach State wound up being the Celtics hero in that game. But you can't take anything away from the tremendous performance by the Phoenix Suns. And hats off to that group down there, a young team going into San Antonio. San Antonio with the best record of the league and winning a great, great basketball game. Here's Corliss Williamson being fouled. He'll come up to the free throw line. Let's get back to this game. Here is a young man who has been a difference maker in this game. Gooden has 9 rebounds and now sitting on that bench over there. Remember, everybody said that it was going to be Wallace and the Pistons who were going to dominate the glass. But it is Gooden who has been the ringleader underneath. And now we see that John Barry, among others, has checked into this game, along with Chucky Atkins. And Coach Carlisle continues to explore his bench to see what he's got here.
Drew Gooden is, again, a guy who's going to bring you that high energy. And that's the problem. The Pistons are not a fantastic rebounding club, even with the leading rebounder in the league on their team.
Kemp steps out high between the circles, spin move inside, and then dishes. Hunter, seeing his first action, comes up with the field goal. Another of the players who's been improving. Doc Rivers didn't want to start him, didn't want to put pressure on Stephen Hunter, and is bringing him in off the bench, and had to be delighted with that match shot.
Oh, absolutely. His first shot of the game gives you a nice jump hook over the top of Ben Wallace.
Williamson thought about it, gives it back to Occult. Kemp cleans it up. Sean, take an overview for some of the folks who may have just joined us. Give us the Orlando rundown.
If you look at the Magic right now, they're playing a lot looser than the Pistons. The Pistons look like they're playing with a lot of pressure. They're at home. They're having a difficult time scoring the basketball. In Orlando, you see Kemp, that's his second jumper along the baseline. They look like they're loose. They have nothing to lose here, and guys are starting to feel it.
Wallace screening high and into the corner for Berry. Williamson forced to give it up. The middle's clogged, and that was Kemp defensively.
Sean Kemp doing an excellent job. Nice spin move here. Looks like the old Rain Man. Nice little dish underneath the arm to Stephen Hunter, who puts it down and puts that little jump hook over the top of Ben Wallace. And that's what I'm talking about. You look at Hunter, he's a rookie. And then he's had, again, Sean Kemp stepping out. That's his second baseline jumper that he hits about 17, 18 feet. And the Magic just look a lot looser. The Pistons are putting a lot of pressure on themselves. They're taking shots that they should hit. They're not knocking them down, and it's become contagious.
Armstrong will shoot a pair of free throws.
And that goes back to that scoring problem that Detroit's having. You need somebody out there who's just an absolute stud with the basketball. To put the ball down, create shots for himself.
Tracy McGrady with that big smile over there on the bench. It's all smiles as far as Orlando and their fans are concerned right now. They lead favored Detroit by 7. Armstrong makes it an 8. And a reminder now coming up, and it's on ABC. You're going to want to go over and watch game 1. The Lakers and the Wolves. The Lakers, the only road team to be favored in the first game this weekend. Then tonight, TNT, Hornets and Sixers. And tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. NBA TV, Celtics-Pacers game 2. If you've got direct TV, I think that's 7:20. I know I watch it a lot. Those guys have got great updates, tell you what's going on, give you the schedule for the rest of the week. Opening series, 7 games. There's Williamson blocked from behind, and Occult is right there.
See, even when Williamson has a mismatch in the block, he's just able to overpower the smaller defenders. Hunter's there to block the shot.
Here's Kemp. Armstrong seeing a lot of playing time. Doc likes what he's seeing, and the 2 is good now from the left baseline for Whitney.
It's Whitney with a quick jumper again along the baseline. Orlando Magic having an easier time scoring the basketball. You see the Pistons kind of struggling to get the ball in the bucket.
And Berry.
And they're doing all this, Brent, with Tracy McGrady getting a big-time rest.
Awesome difference there. 50% against this Piston defense. The Magic shooting. Burke handling the ball, muscling, staying with it, left-handed.
The Orlando Magic are scoring at every position right now. You have Pat Burke backing down Corliss Williamson. You have Sean Kemp knocking down baseline jumpers. Whitney's knocking down shots. Hunter's throwing up hook shots over Ben Wallace. Everybody's involved for the Magic.
Corliss on the drive. Burke, an active Irishman here in the early going. Cross now to Whitney.
They just scare you because everybody can shoot the basketball.
Here's Burke's left-handed again, missing this time, and Occult over the top of Kemp for the rebound. Corliss Williamson on the smooth turnaround.
Nice turnaround. That time you don't give the shot blocker any time to react. As soon as you catch the ball, turn around, you're right up with it.
Now, Robinson will take a shot at Kemp. Kemp will try to maneuver on him, and Cliff stays right with him. Kemp comes back baseline. No, Oker rebounds. This is as good as the Pistons have looked today. Atkins is, they're going to call charging on Atkins. So LeBron James having a happy Easter there with the youngster over the stands. Timeout. The Orlando Magic with an early lead on the top seed in the East, the Detroit Pistons, 34-27 with 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And Sean, let's take a look at our Sprite mad skills.
This move is just, like it says, mad. Jumping across the lane, around the help defense. Beautiful English off the glass. Tracy McGrady showing you everything. Ball handling, body control. Unbelievable. That's your Sprite mad skills. You normally, Brent, we have 3 or 4 plays for your Sprite mad skills. This time you only need 1. Sums it up.
Ben Wallace taking a seat, and T-Mac is back on the floor after missing his first 2. He hit his next 5 of 7, and he's handling the ball right now. Coming again, got the bounce. Shooter's touch.
Barry and Cliff Robinson got confused there. They're talking it over, coming down the floor, but Tracy McGrady popped, and he was wide open from 16 feet.
Barry off Oker's hands and couldn't handle it. Out of bounds on the turnover. The Pistons have turned it over 4 times, matching the Magic total in this game.
The Pistons just need to settle down, get into their game plan.
You know, Armstrong has come off that bench and has 5 assists here in the early going. The Pistons as a team have only 3, but they have shot so poorly in this game. Right? It's really hard to compare right now, but Armstrong has been a powerful force when he came off the bench. Whitney in the backcourt for them now. So here's Williamson on a clear out, and he is fouled by Whitney.
I see Hunter there is trying to tell Whitney and Sean Kemp, leave me alone, let me play him. Corliss Williamson has so much strength and even speed and quickness on Hunter, but Hunter has those long arms and he's able to recover. So he can space Corliss Williamson because he has that length. And he's trying to say, listen, let me handle him by myself.
Back in the first 2 minutes, I said baskets were going to be hard to come by, but I didn't think it would be this difficult. 27 points right now for the Pistons. 6 minutes to go in the half. Oker, and he's fouled. Kemp and Hunter were there as he tried to attack the basket.
You guys took some defensive pills or something this morning. They're playing incredible defense.
Reminder now, over on ABC, 3 p.m. Mike Tirico will have the NBA shoot-around, and then following that at 3:30, Lakers, Minnesota. Sean, what do you think about that? Kevin Garnett has yet to get his team out of the first round. That would be the only knock about his tremendous performance and skills. Are they equipped this year to deal with the champs?
He's going to have the series of a lifetime. And he's going to need Wally Serbiak to knock down jumpers. And Troy Hudson's going to have to continue to play the way he's played all year. He's going to even have to elevate himself. All those guys across the board for them to have a chance to win.
Well, the public has certainly voted as Burke misses on the shot. The Lakers, the only road team to be favored. Atkins up firing. Get ready, baby. It's coming soon to a gym near you, buddy. Wow.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by McDonald's. and Valvoline's Max Life. Products formulated to help keep your higher mileage car running for a long, long time.
We welcome you back to Auburn Hills. Orlando has quieted this crowd somewhat, and Sean, this is worth one more look.
I don't know if there are words to describe this. I mean, I've seen it 100 times.
Sal, what did LeBron?
Scouting, you being here in the playoffs, you're scouting for hopefully a day that'll be in your future. What are you learning here, seeing this today, watching these guys go down?
Well, you know, I go to a lot of regular season games, you know, being in Akron, and it's only 30 minutes away from the Cavs, but, you know, just the atmosphere is completely different from the regular season, and you can just see it being in the crowd.
Do you feel like you learn a lot from guys like T-Mac, Kobe, who have come out and kind of paved the way for where you're going?
Oh, yeah, because I'm out here learning also. I'm not just here watching the game, you know, and it's great to see young players like this trying to take over the league, you know, coming straight out of high school.
Is it intimidating at all? Or are you intimidated?
No, because I think everybody out here is just out here playing the game that they love. And, you know, if you can play basketball, you can play basketball. It shouldn't be intimidating. You've been playing all your life.
Exactly. Now, I got to ask you this. If you had a choice tomorrow for who would get that ball, or maybe where you would go, can you tell me that?
You know, it really doesn't matter to me. You know, my long-term goal is to be in the NBA, and, you know, whatever team that decides to give me, you know, I'll be thankful, you know, for my God-given talent.
All right. So no hometown favorites to Cleveland. See, this dude's an expert already. He already knows how to answer the questions like a true NBA player. Is there anything that you would like to say to the family or anyone at home today, man?
I would like to say Happy Easter to my mom, and Happy Easter to the armed forces across overseas also.
All right, man. LeBron, pleasure, man. Thank you for taking the time. Enjoy yourself out here today, man.
Thank you, Sal. You know, folks, you've got to be very impressed with how he handles himself. I've heard him in several interviews earlier on ESPN. I'm here with Sal, and he's mature beyond his years. And I've talked to so many people who've seen him and watched him in person, and they just say he's the best. That doesn't mean he's going to come in and dominate this league for a while, but down the road, he's going to become an all-star. I think all of us believe that deeply.
There's a tremendous upside. The guy just knows how to play the game.
Speaking of playing the game, Gooden's having a great game today as the shot clock goes off. And it's tracked down now by Hamilton. And so the Pistons trying to put on a flurry here.
That's exactly what they needed. They needed a big-time hustle play, a bucket, to get this crowd back in the game.
Down to within 10. Crowd back alive.
Uh-oh. There's Ben Wallace. You see how he makes a difference. If he's not there, Tracy McGrady goes up and pounds that ball again.
Hamilton slashing is fouled by Burke, and he will shoot a pair of free throws, but the Pistons are closing back in.
And if you don't think Ben Wallace is a legitimate MVP candidate, you have to see what he does for this team. Keeping this ball alive after it gets blocked. Look at Gooden with that attitude. You see Ben Wallace going out of bounds to save that basketball, results in a hoop by Richard Hamilton. And then see Chauncey Billups came right back and got that steal. Missed the shot in the corner.
That was close with Wallace over there. You know that?
Yes, it was.
His foot going out of bounds and knocking that ball back in. The lead now is 39-30. Hamilton on the free throw line, and the one thing the Pistons need now is for number one to relax into this game. Billups has got to get going. It looks like Rip Hamilton is ready to settle down and play a little bit.
We saw Ben Wallace. Not only did he get his team lifted by saving that basketball, but when Tracy McGrady drove baseline again, he was getting ready for another highlight dunk. Wallace came over and Tracy McGrady adjusted his shot.
Pick and roll to Clark was open. McGrady keeps it on the drive high, missing. Williamson out now, and Hamilton trying to run against Bond. Here he comes. Not there. Battle for the rebound. Knocked away. Hamilton's got it back. The pull-up short. Into the Clark's hands. And it'll be T-Mac with Robinson hitting good and flashing the other side. Ran the floor beautifully to help McGrady out. There's the athletic ability of the rookie from Kansas.
They had shots 2, 3, 4 feet away from the bucket, just unable to knock them down.
Doc Rivers in Orlando up by 10 here with 3:12 remaining in the first half. And if there is someone who has been the surprise star, it's Drew Gooden.
I'll watch him right here. He's almost even with Corliss Williamson. He runs down the floor. That shows you his speed in the open court. He beats a point guard down the floor. Ends up finishing that play. At 6'10", guy has 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 big blocks with attitude. 6 points to go along with it. Again, the Pistons have not seen him in a Magic uniform. He's one of the guys, along with Gierczek, who can make a huge difference in this series.
So the Pistons only 8 of 36. 8 of 36. That won't get it done, will it? Phillips, Wallace out for that high pick and roll. Robinson keeps it. Left hand, tap back. Gooden again battling for the rebound, and he knocked it over to Gierczek.
The Orlando Magic, they are right now, they're tenacious on the glass.
Great switch by McGrady on the dribble, and charging foul called.
Nice help defense. Otherwise, you have Tracy McGrady with an easy 2 points.
So here in the shadow of the Motor City, game 1 of the Eastern Conference opener between the #1 seeded Detroit Pistons and #8 Orlando Magic. Magic leads it.
Coming up in just moments on the ATT Halftime Report, Tim Legler and I will review yesterday's top performances in the playoffs. We'll also preview the Lakers and T-Wolves series. Bill Walton and Tom Tobel to join us, and we'll get Ahmad Rashad's thoughts on that matchup. Meanwhile, Tim, how insane has Tracy McGrady been in the first half?
Kevin, you got to be kidding me. This guy's the best offensive player in the league, and he's doing it against Michael Curry, one of the best perimeter defenders, and making it look easy.
Making it look easy, and it is a joy to watch. Michael Jordan may not be in the playoffs, but the kids are picking up the slack. Gentlemen.
Yeah, Kevin, and Tracy McGrady now 7 of 13 from the floor, and Ben Wallace with 6 rebounds is being out-rebounded by Drew Gooden, who has 10 in this game. So the comparison that we're going to want to look at is going to be Tracy McGrady against Kevin Garnett. Those are 2 superstars who have to carry the load for their teams, and how will they do? Well, so far, McGrady doing very well, and we will check Garnett out later today on ABC when the Lakers and the Timberwolves open up in Minneapolis. A lot of folks around the league believe that it is an ideal draw for the Lakers. We shall see about that. The Timberwolves and the Lakers split their regular season series. The winner of that series will draw the San Antonio winner, which means that should the Lakers get on a roll, they would avoid either Dallas or Sacramento if those 2 teams advance. In other words, if form holds, but it's a lot of speculation, and there's a lot of basketball to be played between then and now. The East seems much more wide open. It is so close between the #1 seed, the Pistons, the only team in the East with 50 wins, and the Magic only 8 behind them with 42. So you can throw a blanket over the East. Whoever gets hot here in these playoffs is going to take it on in to the NBA Finals, and they will be an underdog against no matter who comes out of the West.
I tell you what, don't count out Minnesota. I had them late in the year at San Antonio. Those guys played with a lot of heart down the stretch. They're capable of winning games, and they're probably pretty happy right now that people are counting them out.
Well, definitely something to prove, and I'm sure that the crowd in there will be an energizing force against the Lakers, but you've got to deal with Shaq and Kobe, and you better get ready. I hear you. Hamilton. So now Detroit here closing back in, whittling away at the lead with the 2-minute mark.
And that's the type of defense you've seen all year from the Orlando Magic. Easy penetration, nice dish off, easy bucket.
And Gooden finishing powerfully at the other end.
They're going to call a delay a game, but he put that down with some force. Orlando Magic all over the rim. They're trying to pull the paint off of it today. Tracy McGrady with a few thunderous dunks, and Drew Gooden dunking in the vicinity of Ben Wallace. He's not intimidated at all.
Robinson at the perimeter.
Cliff Robinson, definitely a guy who can give you some big buckets. He's been there plenty of times.
Robinson Shows Gooden fresh respect that time. Vaughn flashes on the inside to Kemp.
That's excellent penetration by Jacques Vaughn. Gave you a little hesitation. He gave you a ball fake and froze the defenders. He got Ben Wallace up in the air. He was able to dish that ball off to Sean Kemp.
Wallace steps out on Kemp and misses, and here's Gooden yanking down still another rebound.
Ben Wallace gets a majority of his points on putbacks. He's not the type of guy who's going to step out and give you putting the ball on the floor, step back jumpers.
Gooden. Putback. Gooden's 12th rebound of the game and a putback. He has been the X factor, and no one enjoys it more than T-Mac, knowing he can use a little help here in the playoffs.
And you see that type of energy, he beats everybody to his own offensive rebound.
And Rip Hamilton hits the 3 ball for the Pistons. It's a 7-point game now. Coming down to the closing seconds of the first half. Timeout is called. And you just get the feeling that this one is going right down to the last couple of minutes here in Detroit. Let's go back and take another look at Gooden.
Well, he just continues to work in that block area. First off, he gets a tremendous pass here and finishes it the way a big man should. And watch him. A smart, savvy rookie. Shows you some emotion. Now he's working down low in the block. Up with the shot, but you can't quit on it. He continues after his miss. Beats everybody to the punch, and that shows you this guy is a young, energetic player that has athletic ability, and he's taking advantage of it right now.
And who would have thought? And it probably tells you something about the condition of Wallace's injured left knee when he is being doubled in the rebounding category by a rookie. 12-6. So Ben Wallace, who missed the last 6 games of the regular season, trying to play himself back into shape, and you just know mentally that any athlete has to get over a little bit of a hurdle following any kind of a knee injury. You can speak to that.
Yeah, but knees are so delicate. You know, you have to have your knees bent the entire time in any sport you play.
Doc is going to spread the floor now after that timeout. He wants to bring it down as many seconds as possible before they attack. It'll be Jacques Vaughn on Hamilton. Jacques, the pull-up J, yes. Now that's a shot he did not have when he came into the NBA. He has worked hard on his jump shot. Robinson at the buzzer. So Orlando will take a 9-point lead into the locker room here at the intermission. Tracy McGrady, after missing his first 2, hit 7 of his last 11. A couple of acrobatic shots, and Drew Gooden, though, was the X factor, and he's with Sal.
Drew Gooden, you came out here with an energy in your first playoff game ever that I don't think anyone expected. What is it that's driving you right now? You got 10 points, 12 rebounds, 4 of those offensive rebounds. What are you doing out there, man?
Trying to win. That's it. Coach said do whatever it takes to win. And you know, ain't no games after the season, so I'm just let it all out on the court.
Are you having fun playing in this offense now that you've been here with Orlando?
I'm having a lot of fun, and part of that is Coach Rivers. He said, be free, go ahead and play, do what got you here, and that's what I'm doing.
How is it facing Big Ben here in Detroit under these type of circumstances?
You know, it's a challenge. You know, he's a beast, and only way to play good against him, you got to be a beast yourself.
Man, well, this was thoroughly impressive. You were a beast and a half. It was scary to watch you today, man. Go take a breather. Good luck in the second half. All right, man, back to you guys.
All right, Sal. Well, Tracy McGrady finished the season as the NBA scoring champion. He averaged 30-plus points a game, and he became the youngest player to average 30-plus points per game as we come to the AT&T halftime report. That'll be coming up next. T-Mac, showtime in Auburn Hills. The Monster Jam.
Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report.
I think I could put off the Easter egg hunt to watch this. Tracy McGrady to Drew Gooden. What a show by the Orlando Magic. They lead by 9, 49-40 at the break.
Nice to know ya. Overthrow ya. you. Wanna see you handle full court pressure. Don't stop, and it won't stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Man, can you believe
You
it?
wanna know who won, how, and when? The NBA playoffs, ESPN.
What an amazing day, and what a way to start off the NBA playoffs on Saturday. A great game on Sunday, but four actually great games, 3 here on ESPN on Saturday afternoon, and great individual performances. Let's start. If you start at the top of the heap, Tim Legler, you have to start with Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki, one of the toughest matchups for a reason. This guy can take you off the dribble, shoot the 3, and post up. And also, by the way, 7 foot tall, can run the floor in transition as well. This guy had an unbelievable performance, almost half of their points, Kevin.
Against the Blazers, Dirk Nowitzki has 46 points, 10 rebounds, and he broke Orlando Blackman's playoff mark of 43 points. It was done versus the same team, same round, same game, just 1 day apart. Blackman did his on April 18th, 1985. Meanwhile, more basketball ahead this afternoon. Once things are done in Detroit, it's the Lakers and T-Wolves, and that one starts at 3 Eastern on ABC. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. For thoughts on this series, let's check in with Ahmad Rashad.
Normally, when you have the 4th-seeded team against the 5th-seeded team, the teams are pretty close. But when you're talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers, these are 2 very different teams with different goals and directions. Let's start with the Timberwolves. I think they'd be very happy just to make it out of the first round, where they've been stuck for the past 6 years. But with the Lakers, they are the 3-time defending champions with just 1 goal in mind: to make it 4 in a row, something no team has done since the Boston Celtics did it back in the 1960s. And I guarantee you, Phil Jackson has reminded his team of just that. So 2 teams with 2 different agendas. And for the Timberwolves, it's a case of good news, bad news. The good news is that they have home court advantage, which they worked for all season long. The bad news is their opponent is the defending champion Lakers. Now, I love my man Kevin Garnett. He has a legitimate case for MVP, and on any given night, any team can beat any other team. But this year, the first round of the playoffs has been changed to a 7-game series, so the best team will always win. And for the Timberwolves to beat the defending champions 4 times, I don't care if they do have the home court. It's very hard to see that happening. Now, the Lakers don't feel that anyone can beat them anywhere. Just look at last year when they defeated the Kings in Game 7 in Sacramento. So how confident are the Lakers? Shaquille O'Neal summed it up this way, and I quote, "We play Minnesota, then we play the winner of the next series, and we just keep going on." So while getting the second round would be quite an accomplishment for the Timberwolves, the Lakers are never satisfied with anything less than a championship. I'm Ahmad Rashad. That's the way the ball bounces.
Ahmad, thanks a lot. I'm joined now by Bill Walton and Tom Tolbert. They will call today's game from the Target Center. Guys, right off the bat, do the Timberwolves have a chance?
Plenty of bouncing balls here. Ahmad was right on the mark there, but the Los Angeles Lakers, they have all systems go. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have all the pressure on them. The problem, though, for Kevin Garnett and the Wolves is that the Lakers are the absolute best at just tightening that tourniquet right down.
See, I would disagree with the Timberwolves have all the pressure, because, I mean, how would you love to be a number 4 seed with home court advantage and be the underdog? I mean, they are the underdog in this series. Nobody expects them to win. What a perfect scenario to try to win your first ever first-round matchup,
Sure,
be an underdog
Tom,
and have home court
Tom,
advantage.
that's perfect, but realistically, do you think they're going to win?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
there we
they
go.
don't.
Okay.
I mean, nobody
You
does.
can
I mean,
paint beautiful
that's great
pictures,
for
but
them.
okay.
The most important thing is that the guys in that locker room believe it, and only Kevin Garnett can give him that. If Kevin Garnett plays so great that Shaq has to guard him, then the Timberwolves have a chance.
All right, meanwhile, let's look back to Saturday's games. A couple of great performances. Dirk Nowitzki, fantastic, and the Suns stunning the Spurs. And Tom Tolbert, yesterday, didn't you say no shot for the Suns?
Well, I didn't think that was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to, you know what, if you were to tell me Amari Stoudemire was going to bank in a 25-footer
Right, no, you're right,
at any
you're right.
point
No,
during
you're
the
right,
game,
you're right.
I would have said, you know what, there's something off with this game. But you know what, that's why they play 7 games. The Suns are going to have to beat them 3 more times. But, hey, give them credit for just sticking close in that game. But when you factor in missed free throws and 2, not 1, 2 freaky shots, That's what happens sometimes.
Why don't teams foul when they're up 3 in the closing 10 seconds? It's just absolutely beyond me. And never discount the contributions of Coach Tim Gergerich for the Phoenix Suns. He has got those guys in phenomenal physical condition. The growth of those young players, he's done it, Gergerich, wherever he has been. We are seeing it one more time. San Antonio, they have their work cut out for them.
Bill Walton, I have to agree with you there, though, about Coach Gerg. One of the best at just individual drills and working players out and helping them reach their peak. Guys, we'll see you at 3 Eastern for NBA shoot-around as we get ready for the Lakers. We got to go.
We were part of the halftime show.
There are a lot of fans behind you that want to hang out with you. Go sign some autographs, guys, okay? All right?
All right, Cap.
All right, thanks a lot. See you later. They're coming up at 3 Eastern with the Lakers and Timberwolves. Meanwhile, Detroit in trouble. They'll need more from Rip Hamilton. They trail by 9.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T. Welcome back to the AT&T halftime report.
This is a peek at the games left this afternoon. Lakers and Timberwolves, then Hornets and 76ers. Tim Legler, you love the Hornets and 76ers.
That is going to be a great series because they're so evenly matched. It's going to be 7 tight games, Kevin. Trust me.
Wow. Larry Brown called the Hornets the best team in the East. Meanwhile, Tracy McGrady looks like the best player on the planet.
Just get out of the way.
T-Mac killing them. More on the way.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T.
.49-40 at the intermission. The Magic leading the favored and the top-seeded team in the East, the Detroit Pistons, here by 9 points. Sean, as we get ready for the second half and the scoring matchup here, McGrady missing his first 2, but Chauncey Billups struggling as much as Gary Payton did yesterday for Milwaukee.
Yeah, you know, the Pistons just look a little tight right now. All the pressure is on them. They're the #1 seed. They're at home. They're supposed to win this playoff series, but the Magic, they have other plans. Tracy McGrady.
They're jumping over his back. They got to be the same contact.
But you just, there's a difference there. They're bumping him off their pack.
And you don't think coming over his back on a post pass is coming
No, but if we do, we'll call it.
They should call this on McGrady, folks. This is basketball abuse.
That's when you open the mouth, take out the mouthpiece, put the basketball in mouth, put the mouthpiece back in.
Now, can Young Gooden keep this up in the second half? He's been the X factor in this basketball. Everybody knew how good McGrady was.
I believe he can. And because he has that ability, he's active. And that's the thing that you can't account for. Maybe you can make adjustments when, hey, you know, the guy comes off the screen this way, I'm gonna cover him this way, or I'm gonna double team him, or we're gonna come with a double team this way. You can't prepare for activity. And when you have a guy who's gonna stay that active on the glass, you have to match that intensity.
Now, 6 players came off Doc Rivers' bench. 8 field goals and only 3 off the Pistons bench. They used only 4 reserves. So Doc getting that little bit of a burst. And Tracy McGrady played only 15 minutes, and he starts the second half with the field goal, and now it is 17 and counting.
It takes him all of 15 seconds to score. Coming out of the locker room.
There has been trouble at the point in the NBA playoffs. Payton, Billups, Parker at San Antonio. Such an important part of a basketball team is your point guard. And when they go bad, it is uphill all the way as Robinson goes and hits a 3-ball from the left corner.
Nice aggressive shot that time by Cliff Robinson. He's not waiting around. Doesn't try to size anybody up. Steps out to that corner, knocks down that 3-ball.
Curry gets rubbed off. Hamilton on a switch. Size mismatch. McGrady knows it. Gives it up now to Gooden. Gooden got Robinson. Great pass, and Garachek couldn't finish.
He saw Ben Wallace out of the left corner of his eye. Put that shot up a little too quickly.
Now Billups trying to get on track. There's the foul. And DeClerc in underneath. So Andrew DeClerc.
They like Billups taking the ball to the bucket. He's had struggles shooting the ball from the perimeter, 0 for 8. So you got to do something else this time, taking the ball to the basket, and you can say your points from the free throw line are just as valuable as your points from the perimeter.
The one number favoring the Pistons is this one. At the line, 23-10. They're staying in this game, folks. They've only got 11 field goals. They've hit 25%, so they're keeping themselves in this game at the free throw line. Gooden from the perimeter. Rebound now, Billups.
If he knocks that shot down along the baseline, you just hang your head.
Hamilton and Robinson basically the only two scorers on the floor for the Pistons, and Robinson comes up firing, gets back to miss, and back outside to Curry. Curry, for example, took only one shot in the first half, making that. Ben Wallace has missed all 3 of his shots. And Chauncey Billups is 0 for 8, searching for his first field goal. Hamilton picks it up, and he'll fire the 3 ball on the money.
Rip Hamilton is one of those guys, Brent, that can get it goal for you. He has the ability to light it up. He's an excellent shooter. This guy can put the ball on the floor as well. Give him a wide open look. He's going to knock it down. They need him to score big time here.
They double McGrady. So Gooden inside, and it'll roll in.
Ben Wallace not happy about that no call. Drew Gooden used that little chicken wing, moved Ben Wallace aside, and was able to knock that shot off the glass, and Wallace was unhappy about it. He wanted an offensive foul.
Here's Hamilton again.
And he held that ball a little too long in his hands that time, instead of releasing it and letting it go.
Long waits for Gary, check outside. The Clerk's got Hamilton, size mismatch, left-handed run through the lane.
I'll tell you what, I had the Magic last week, and DeClerc impressed me, and now he's impressing me even more, coming across the lane using that lefty little soft jump hook, running hook.
Inside.
Cliff Robinson starting off strong this second half. Here it is. Watch good. And he uses that left arm, left elbow, moves Ben Wallace out of the way, throws him to the ground. There it is. Wallace unhappy about it. He wanted that offensive foul. Here's that last play. Billups searching for Cliff Robinson, who finishes like a big man should.
That is the 4th foul now on DeClerc. And he has been a valuable role player for them. And Sean Kemp up will be checking in for Doc Rivers because of that 4th foul. Brady trying to run free and get some daylight. Comes out to get the ball. You know what he's thinking. A foul on Curry. Being overplayed. Tracy McGrady did what any superstar should do. Go up and hope you get the whistle.
You see, Curry doesn't argue that call. It's tremendous defense, so you got to give him credit. He keeps his hands active, but his hand was right in there as McGrady went up with that shot. You see his arm in his jersey. That's a foul there. There's no question about it. There's 2 fouls.
Now, I think he's going to get 2 free throws instead of 3. That is what the discussion is about here, as to whether or not that was a 3-ball or not. Doc Rivers claiming that it was a 3-ball. He is arguing with Tim.
You know, those kind of plays right there, Brent, that's what separates the good players from the great players. Tracy McGrady senses that arm in there, and he goes up with the shot knowing he's going to get the foul call.
Steals it back away from Curry, but then it's off good and out of bounds. Pistons basketball now. We've got a 6-point game with 8:25 here in the 3rd.
See, you can't make adjustments for that type of energy. The only thing you can tell your guys at halftime is that, hey, we got to pick it up. We got to match this intensity that the Orlando Magic are showing. And Tracy McGrady going and beating everybody to his offensive rebound.
Robinson again. Carrying the scoring load. Clifford Robinson. Played at Connecticut.
He's been there before. He's been to the finals twice. He knows what playoff basketball is about.
Gooden missing into Wallace's hands now. Robinson losing the handle, tracks it down. Patient, trying to cut this lead even further. Phillips on the attack, and one. A huge basket for Chauncey Phillips. His first of the playoffs for Detroit, and an opportunity to make this a one-point basketball game.
And you see how Chauncey Phillips probes here. Tremendous effort, showing you his strength and his body control. Able to draw that contact and still has the focus to get that ball off the glass and gets it to drop.
The Pistons right back in it. They pick up Vaughn in the backcourt. McGrady. Time now for the Stars. Can't find daylight, so it's Jacques Vaughn on the money.
That's a beautiful pass. Chauncey Phillips was caught watching Tracy McGrady, and McGrady threw a nice soft pass right over the top of his head to waiting Jacques Vaughn, who was set to shoot that shot.
Wallace on a high rub. McGrady fouled by Robinson, had a breakout, and Robinson took the foul.
Tracy McGrady here, aware of where everybody is on the court. And once he senses that Chauncey Phillips has his eye on him, cross-court pass to awaiting Jacques Vaughn. Perfect timing. Nice jumper.
And a fine decision by Robinson that time. McGrady was going to cruise for an easy deuce. Stephen Hunter back on the floor for the Magic. He'll try it. Temple sit, Juracek, Vaughn, Gooden, and of course T-Mac. Juracek, and Hamilton sticks with him. 10 on the shot.
These guys from the Magic seem now like they're a little nervous going away from Tracy McGrady. They've got to step up and show a lot of confidence right now.
Curry's got T-Mac on the inbounds pass. They'll try to rub to get him daylight. Hunter there. T-Mac comes around the corner, but they can't get it to him, so they go in low now to Gooden. Jacques Vaughn got Hunter for a running slam. Beautiful pass by Jacques.
And just when it looked like they were teetering on the brink of a disaster, like they were rushing here, they had plenty of time on the shot clock. Jacques Vaughn comes through with a brilliant pass to Stephen Hunter, who puts it down with authority. I mean, that's a rookie there finishing like he's been in the playoffs before.
Hamilton's over in the left corner for Phillips. Wallace is there for a screen. They go back now to Robinson, who will put it down on Gooden. 6 on the shot. Phillips back, Robinson's got to go. Got it! 3 ball. It's a 2-point game.
If I'm the Pistons right now, I'm going to Cliff Robinson every time down the floor. I'm going to milk him.
McGrady puts it down, he'll attack. Be on the free throw line.
Cliff Robinson coming to life. That was an extremely difficult 3. Looked to me like he was falling back just a little bit with a hand in his face. You know, Britt, they continue to give Tracy McGrady that baseline, and he's come through with a couple magnificent plays. If they're going to feed him to the baseline, waiting for the shot blockers, they better make sure, really make sure that that help is prepared to step up and meet him outside the lane.
Well, Cliff Robinson, 19 points for the game, 11 coming this quarter. With the shot clock down at 2. It goes through as it zeroes out. No one enjoying it more than Big Ben. The Pistons right back in the thick of it now. Down 4, 6 minutes left in the third. Timeout.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by MCI, bringing voice and data solutions together on one global network. Nissan and your Nissan dealer, and Nike.com.
Still ahead this afternoon of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers square off in Minneapolis. Kevin Garnett still looking for that first series win. That game's on ABC. Coverage starts at 3 Eastern.
Kevin, this could be good news for the Lakers. Look at that horrendous home playoff record for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, what Sean doesn't know is that the Indianapolis Olympians, the St. Louis Bombers, the Sheboygan Redskins, the Cleveland Rebels, that's when I started in this business. Talk about a throwback jersey. Has LeBron got those jerseys too?
I don't think so. Are those jerseys even in existence? We have to carbon date them.
Sheboygan? I thought that was always a football city, as LeBron James, who figures to be the #1 player after the NBA lottery, is the apple of everybody's eye. They say he's a can't-miss prospect, and he certainly has enjoyed watching the games. Sal, what did Doc Rivers have to say over there in the Orlando huddle?
Well, his main concern was the guarding of Clifford Robinson on that screen and roll and the way they were switching. So they're going to try and make an adjustment to get out there on Cliff Robinson. And he basically just tried to settle them down. You know, Drew Gooden was a little bit overexcited. Just tried to get those guys settled down, let them know that they're in it, and just make some adjustments.
Yeah, Sal, 2 excellent points. First of all, you want to settle down a very young team. And I believe this is the most inexperienced team as far as playoff games are concerned in the entire NBA playoffs. And the second time, it has been Cliff Robinson, 7 of 15 now, that doing extremely well, 62-58. And a reminder now, the Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel. 3 p.m. on ESPN. The Tampa Bay Lightning against the Washington Capitals. Game 6, Lightning leading that series. 3-2. Hard to believe that Tampa Bay has become that good. And then it's 7 ESPN2 Vancouver and St. Louis here. So in the thick of the National Hockey League playoffs, the NBA playoffs just getting underway. The opening weekend, you can't get any better for hockey and basketball fans than this. Brady yanks down the miss.
I know Cliff Robinson just missed that jumper. I'd still continue to go to him. He's the guy who's been aggressive and provided points for you here in the third.
Gooden tried to jump up over them. Wallace now is starting to go to work. Let's hope the knee seems fine. Bounces right back up. Boy, anytime you see somebody playing with an injured knee go down like that, you're always concerned.
You can look at him, Brent, and tell that he's not 100%. There's no way that he is. He's still hobbling on that knee a little bit, and he's favoring it. For a guy like Ben, who plays so hard, to play at less than 100% has got to be extremely frustrating.
Stephen Hunter picking up his second foul, sending Wallace to the free throw line at the other end of the floor. With, and those are just not Wallace-like numbers, are they?
When you look at him, he is a man. This guy is built like G.I. Joe. He's just got muscles popping out all over the place.
One of the great effort stories, huh, Sean? You come from nowhere.
I hear you.
Make it big.
That's a testament to hard work and desire.
You bet. Now McGrady will bring it back down. It's a 2-point basketball game. Garrity back on the floor. Played only 4 minutes. He gives it up. He's been bothered by an injury. Now it'll be Billups running the floor, and then the transition pull up. It's a 2.
Oh, the house is ready to erupt on that shot. You have to like that Billups continues to shoot the ball with lots of confidence.
Curry battling away at McGrady. Here's Gooden, the rookie, off Wallace. Jump hook, good. Strong power move. Wallace again complaining that Gooden is just pounding on him, and he's not getting any calls.
He did a terrific job of keeping his body in front of the ball and keeping Ben Wallace away from that shot.
That's 14 points and 13 rebounds for Gooden. McGrady almost with a breakout steal. Here's Hamilton, the 3 ball. checks the open floor. Magic up 4. Gets it back. He'll go free balling. Yes.
Just unbelievable play by Tracy McGrady. Gives the ball up to Jock Vaughn, and you see what Vaughn does. He doesn't hold on to it for a second. He gives that ball right back to T-Mac. He's wide open at the top of the key. Terrific teamwork.
Here's Hamilton working the left baseline, and Guricek called for the personal foul. And Guricek did not agree with this. Now Tracy McGrady with 23 points as he nails the 3.
This is just like a drill there. He gives the ball to Jacques Vaughn. Jacques Vaughn just gives it right back immediately to Tracy McGrady, who knocks down that 3 ball. Those guys recognize who the star is. Vaughn could have taken that 3-pointer. Instead, he gives it to the better shooter.
3:18. Magic up by 7 here. Game 1. Remember this year, the first round is a best of 7.
You see them blanketing Tracy McGrady here. They're going to throw everything, like Rick Carlisle said, including the kitchen sink, but look at Good. Coming through with that jump hook, using his body well. For a guy who, in his first year in the league, he's done a tremendous job this afternoon.
Rip Hamilton after a sluggish start is stuck with it. Garrity, Vaughn, Gooden, Guricek, and McGrady. Wrap around Gooden and Wallace from behind. And he thought he got all ball. And he's not going Wallace's way as far as the whistles are concerned.
And he probably did. It's just that his blocks are so ferocious. They look like a foul. Here it is. He just catches them from behind, and it looks like a clean block.
The follow-through was a different story, folks.
Oh, he gets pounded with his body.
Yeah, he got all ball, and the rest are the right side. 68-62, 3 minutes. Like a building falling on you.
Yes.
Robinson picking it up, and now Gooden tightens up on him. Here comes Hamilton. Curry on the attack finds Hamilton.
They have to shoot that ball quickly because the Magic are rotating.
So Wallace continues to complain. Not getting the whistles either way. Not drawing the offensive fouls. Then he gets called for the hammering block. Timeout.
Kevin Frazier and Tim Legler in Playoff Central. Let's look ahead to the Lakers and T-Wolves. What's the key, Tim?
I tell you what, in the playoffs, somebody else has to step up other than the superstars. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's got to be Troy Hudson. He has to be the guy to step up, provide offense, because he's going to get a lot of shots in this series. They should learn a lot of pick and roll against Shaquille O'Neal. He does not like to defend pick and roll. Troy Hudson, you will get opportunities. You need to come out aggressive, be offensive-minded. Don't think like a point guard. Think like a scorer. They need his offense, Kevin.
He averaged 15 points during the regular season. Don't forget, it's the Lakers and Timberwolves. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern with Shoot Around. Guys?
All right, Kevin, and here, Orlando leading Detroit, 69-62. The Magic once held a 12-point lead. The Pistons cut it down to 2, but they've missed 5 straight shots since then, with Garrity on the free throw line for Orlando. As far as Tracy McGrady is concerned, he's shooting 9 of 16 for 23 points. Rip Hamilton now leading the Pistons scorers. He's only 5 of 15, but he has 20 points. He has made 8 consecutive free throws as the Pistons have hit 24 of 29 from the line, and Orlando only 10 of 12.
Jacques Vaughn did a tremendous job shouting Phillips. That should be good.
They might have called it before the shot. Carlisle protesting that the basket should have been good.
Oh, that's close.
Very close.
That looks like a possible goaltend, although the ball may not even made it above the rim.
Inconclusive. Shoot the free throw.
Exactly. Here's another look at it. Now, if that's the foul, that's a continuation. That's awfully close. And that ball looks like it could be on its way down.
Now it is 10 consecutive free throws for Rip Hamilton, making it a 71-64 game here as we approach the 2-minute mark of the third quarter.
The Pistons have put so much energy into getting back in the game and make it close, and Orlando goes on a little spurt. Pistons just unable to get over that hump.
T-Mac turns baseline into Robinson's hands.
How do you guard against a guy who will spin on you along the baseline? Just when you think you have a guy corralled, he ends up dropping a bucket on you.
Wallace attacks. McGrady, the transition three is good, and Tracy McGrady, 26.
How do you guard against that? Come back with that shot. In transition, the guy 6'8", with incredible ability, just pulls up from beyond the three on you. Can stop on a dime.
Phillips fouled. The Miller Lite storyline of this game, the Orlando Magic and rookie Gooden. 16 points and 13 rebounds. T-Mac now with 26 points. Detroit being held to 30% from the field. Cliff Robinson leading the way with 19. The disparity at the free throw line. And Billups back on that line as the Pistons keeping themselves in this game. Unable to shoot better than 30% here for the game for Coach Carlisle.
Tracy McGrady coming down, Brent, dribbling into a three-pointer. That, to me, is the most difficult shot in the game. Because if you're not an excellent ball handler, you're putting that ball down, and you want to get a shot up quickly. If you don't have those ball handling skills, the ball's not going to be set right for you.
Wallace underneath with the steal and a pushing foul against Gooden. Gooden telling his teammates that it's his fault.
Well, the fans here looking for anything to get them excited. Ben Wallace, great hands in the right place at the right time. You see the push by Drew Gooden. And Detroit's just going to need a break here. Coming down the stretch in the fourth. They've been battling to get back. Even with the Magic, even when they have a break here, they got to knock down both free throws.
Williamson back on the floor for Detroit. McGrady to Gooden. Gooden up over Robinson, and Wallace flashes for the defensive board.
Nice defense by Cliff Robinson. Underrated defensive player.
Now Phillips up firing.
He needs one of those to fall. That's a good-looking shot, too, just in and out.
Tracy McGrady hitting Gooden, who is fouled by Phillips.
Tracy McGrady just playing brilliant basketball. He draws the two defenders, dumps it off to Gooden, flashing to the bucket.
A reminder that you can catch live NBA playoff action in high definition on NBA TV. Reggie Miller and the Pacers will host Paul Pierce and the Celtics. What a fourth quarter. Paul Pierce had 21 points for the Celtics. Pacers and Celtics now game 2, and it's in high definition tomorrow at 8:30 only on NBA TV.
Well, here's that play. Watch McGrady draws the two defenders. They're so concerned about him raising up for that three-pointer. Both guys, both Robinson and Wallace, converge on Tracy McGrady. Nice pass to Wilson.
It's always the mark of a good NBA player when he ups his regular season scoring average. And today, 17 points. When the Piston coaches sit down and start doing adjustments, you better believe that number one, perhaps, at the top of their chart will be addressing number 9. The rookie Gooden, who they did not face during the regular season. He had not yet been traded by Memphis to Orlando.
Well, after the trade, he led the Magic in rebounding 10 times.
Atkins on the floor for Detroit. Hamilton trying to get in behind. Whitney does. And from the left baseline, makes this a 76-69 game.
Nice use of his size. Hamilton along the baseline that time over the top of Chris Whitney.
Garrity on the high screen. Knocked away. Turn it over. Here comes Atkins. Transition three against the clock. Good. Good. They'll check the replay immediately. So replay will be from where we sat. It looked good, but let's take that second look as Detroit closes out with an 8-2 run, if that's good. Bennett Salvatore, the lead official, taking a look at it. You can see Atkins eyeing the clock. Here he comes, up and firing. It's good, folks. Ball was in the air. No doubt about it. Count it.
What's with all these bank shots? And this shot is huge because you're now going into the fourth quarter. You get the ball back to start the fourth. Get a chance to close that gap even more.
Chucky Atkins with his first field goal of the game. He had missed two earlier three balls. We prepare to start the fourth quarter. Orlando leading by 4, and we check in with Sal Masakela. Sal?
In that last huddle, Doc Rivers told his team, he said, you guys are trying to hold on to the lead. Stop trying to hold on to the lead and play the only way that we know how to, and that is attack. He said attack, attack, attack. That's how we know how to play, and that's how we're going to win.
Sal, that's terrific advice for a young team. They get overly cautious in a situation like this and try to sit on it. Meanwhile, a few more veterans on the floor here for Detroit. Williamson, Chucky Atkins. You know, the Pistons started out 0 of 10 from three-point range, and they are 5 of 7 cents as Berry drops it in now to Williamson. McGrady quickly to double team. Atkins again. Yes!
Well, if you're going to advance in the playoffs, you need a hero. And right now, Chucky Atkins has come through big time, back-to-back threes.
You also need a superstar, and he's got the ball right now. McGrady goes to work, flashes past Berry, and one, put him on the free throw line. Wow. Just when the opponent has closed to within one, the number uno, the big man, has to move center stage, and McGrady did just that.
He's saying the big Gouda. Here he is, Atkins. Nice head fake. One dribble, puts the ball down, knocks down that three. His reaction, the place is going crazy. But on the other end, if you're going to continue to make McGrady go left, you must have that help defense there to meet him. They've been making him go left all afternoon along the baseline, and he's been successful.
Berry's three ball. Out of bounds, Orlando ball. So T-Mac leading the way here for Orlando. 29 points. Remember, he scored more than 30 a game. A little over 23 years old. The NBA's scoring leader with 29 here today. Garrity was firing.
Quick shot. Didn't really have his feet set, ready to launch that ball.
Atkins on the attack. Pull up by Whitney in transition. Into Oker's hands, and that might have been just a little too quick for Dr. Rivers' taste.
Yeah, but they're attacking still. You can't blame them if you're in the huddle and you want them to attack.
Bad pass out of bounds on the turnover, and it will be Orlando basketball.
Look at Whitney setting that screen on Corliss Williamson.
Grady up, firing again, and the three is good. Gives him 32.
Hey, Brent, that's unreal. I mean, I've seen a lot of players throughout the course of my career, rather it be at the YMCA or in the NBA, and Tracy McGrady is easily one of the best I've ever seen.
Timeout, Auburn Hills.
Time for our Dockers Defender's Edge, Tim Legler.
Best defense I've seen Orlando play the entire season. Drew Gooden came to play.
5 blocks for the Orlando Magic. Log on to ESPN.com and vote for the Dockers Defender's Edge. Guys?
Yeah, Gooden has certainly been the X factor in this game, but right now, as far as Orlando is concerned, 18 points, 14 rebounds, but now everybody in Orlando, the fans, teammates, everybody knows this is McGrady time now. 10 minutes down a game, we're sitting on 32 points. He came down, he didn't even look for anybody on those last 2 shots. It was going to be T-Mac all the way, and that's what the big man has to do. That's what Kevin Garnett's going to have to do late against the Lakers. You've got to take over. You've got to move center stage. It's the only criticism I've ever heard against Chris Webber. Over to the corner now. Atkins misfiring this time, and here comes T-Mac. In a foot race, he'll take it all the way, folks. It's his ball now until he decides to give it up.
And what you're saying is exactly correct.
3 p.m. now on ESPN. Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Washington Capitals, the Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel. And I'm reminded that Bill Davidson, the owner of these Pistons, is now the owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maybe that's why they got good. First round game 6, Canucks and Blues on ESPN2 at 7 p.m.
What you're talking about when you mean Kevin Garnett and Chris Webber taking over games, that's when Tracy McGrady takes center stage and he decides that I'm going to do this.
Dirk Nowitzki did it yesterday for the Dallas Mavericks in their comeback win over Portland. Williamson in a collision as they come through the lane. Armstrong going to the floor has drawn the personal foul. Now, how can I be fouled when a big man pounds me to the hardwood like that?
I doubt if Corliss Williamson even felt Darrell Armstrong.
Williamson back down on Guerrero. Comes the double, so Berry on the slash cut. And it goes in, but wave it off. Salvatore waves it off immediately.
That's another close one. There's the foul there. He goes right up with it.
That's great.
Looks like
a
nice
great expression, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Out of bounds sideline. Inside of 10 now. Atkins. Berry pops out. Orlando on an 8-0 run, or should I say Tracy McGrady on an 8-0 run. He's had all 8 points.
Now you got one of your premier defenders on him.
Coming again.
Wow. He almost gets that to fall. Every time he raises up, I just don't expect the ball to go in. You just don't see people with that kind of size shoot threes so effortlessly.
Wallace goes down. Robinson finally gives it up, and Atkins to save it. Just inside of 10 on the shot now. Robinson puts it down, comes up firing, and Garrity cleans up the miss.
It's surprising the Magic have gotten physical with the Pistons.
McGrady coming on through, hits Sean Kemp, perimeter shot, not this time.
You know that wasn't good when it left his hands.
Pistons trying to get that inside-outside game working in and out for Robinson. That one appeared to be down.
That was a long three.
Robinson picks up McGrady. McGrady flushes, goes left hand, gets the roll. Switches hands on the drive, and it's 86-75. Tracy McGrady boosting the Orlando lead as he goes on a 10-0 run and a big hug from the rookie Gooden.
They're getting physical down low here. You're going to watch Wallace colliding with Pat Garrity. Garrity holds his ground. It's getting to be a nasty, dirty game.
Right now, it's the Tracy McGrady Show, folks. Timeout. Kevin, count on it starting on ESPN2, my friend. We've still got 7:43 to go. We're 8 minutes from the top of the hour. Tracy McGrady, Sean, 36 points.
Yeah, and this is just a beautiful move again. And Ben Wallace is lucky he doesn't pick up the block. He's still trying to get his body in front of Tracy McGrady as he comes off this pick and roll. You see the confusion there between Barry and Cliff Robinson. And Tracy McGrady, the beneficiary.
He scored the last 10 points of the game, and it has not been an easy go in the playoffs so far for home team. Boston breaks through, Phoenix breaks through, Orlando hoping to join them. The Nets, the Kings, and Dallas hold serve at home in the openers this weekend. Phillips on the drive.
That's a nice drive. You run your pick and roll out a little higher, and he switched out on a big man. He's able to shake him up on his way to the bucket.
His second field goal of the game, 2 of 12. McGrady, 12 in a row. Up firing, that's 38 for T-Mac.
How do you stop him? You make him go over the pick and roll, he burns you. Then you cheat over the pick and roll. He goes away from the screen, drops a jumper.
Phillips spinning in on Sean Kemp for his foul.
Here he is, Chauncey Billups, weaving his way to that reverse layup. Once he gets caught on that big man, he has him where he wants him. Then Tracy McGrady faking like he's going over the pick and roll, goes away from the screen, one dribble up with the shot.
Underdog Orlando, up 11. Hamilton, doubled. With 3 on the shot, throws a bad pass. McGrady says, give it to me in the middle, but it goes cross court now to Armstrong. Now back to T-Mac, spot up 3, finally misses.
Wow, he's gonna have to shoot one after that just to check how hot he is.
Now Phillips draws the double.
What a defense by the Magic. I haven't seen them play defense like this all year long. And this is it's got to be a big surprise that the Magic are playing this type of D. They're double teaming along the baseline. They got that last steal. Look at Whitney harassing Chauncey Billups there. These guys are all over the place. One time I had to look up and check and make sure there weren't 6
LeBron James
jerseys. See him, he's
decided for sure that was down. With a lead like this, Carlisle and the Pistons are at a tremendous disadvantage, in my opinion, against McGrady. They have got to keep their offensive players on the floor,
right.
i.e. Williamson has to replace Curry. Curry, of all the Pistons who've tried T-Mac today, probably did the best job, although when a guy's got 38 on you. Williamson is in here for offense right now because you're down by 11 with 6:20 to go.
Single-handedly outscoring the Pistons this quarter. That's a superstar.
Pushing foul against Whitney. That's his 3rd, team 4.
And we
about sideline.
You said it to me earlier in the telecast about the Pistons needing another scorer on this team. I really believe that they are still 1 player away. They're a fantastic club. But obviously scoring has been a huge problem for them all year long. It's creeping up on them today.
Basically staying in this game at the free throw line. Sean Kemp picks up another personal, and now Billups will move to the line. That's 4 on Kemp. Remember now that Andrew DeClerc, who started down in the low block, also has 4. And Billups makes the free throw. The Pistons have shot 36 free throws in this game already. They've made 30 of them as Gooden checks back in. So 30 of the Pistons' 78 points have come at the free throw line here today against Orlando.
It's a lot of fouling.
And you hockey fans who've come on now to see that Game 6, I believe it is, reminder now, you'll start over on ESPN 2. So at the top of the hour, they get ready to drop that puck. And we'll let you know when the hockey action starts, and you can switch on over. Gooden out now for a high pick. McGrady jump pass, wanted Gooden on the pick and roll, but Wallace was ready.
Hey, Brent, why would you want to switch over to hockey when we have this exciting action going on? Tell me, huh?
I'm just doing my corporate duty.
We got Tracy McGrady over here.
Duty. Phillips cleaned up by Garrity.
We got Ben Wallace. He's an animal.
Gooden wants it over on the right side. He couldn't get it. Now McGrady. Armstrong firing, knocks it down from the perimeter. It's 90-79, coming down to the 5-minute mark, and the Pistons are in trouble, folks.
You see Darryl Armstrong hit that jumper. That's really been the story for the Magic. Besides the brilliance of Tracy McGrady, they've had scoring from every position. It's been Gooden. It's been McGrady. Whitney's hit shots for him. Darryl Armstrong hit shots. Sean Kemp. You go on down the line. When you focus too much on Tracy McGrady, you leave the other guys open on the floor, and they're very competent players. Darryl Armstrong there with a big jumper. See Doc's reaction.
Hamilton fouled by Whitney, back on that free throw line again, and for Rip Hamilton now in this game, he has 11 of 11 at the free throw line. 25 points for Rip.
And he's put together a nice game as well. Guy in his own right could have been on the All-Star team this year and has had a spectacular year.
Acquired from the Wizards in the Jerry Stackhouse trade. Now T-Mac brings it to the attack with a 9-point lead and 5 minutes to go. Gooden on that high pick and roll, and Robinson cuts him off. McGrady has to send it to the corner. Hamilton's rebound from behind. He's got to pick it up now because Armstrong was slipping in.
You see how pesky Armstrong is? He chases you around. He's constantly looking to create something.
Phillips tries to break it down on the penetration. Robinson is covered by a smaller man. He'll back him down, go cross court. Hamilton. It's a 7-point game at 4:27, and the Doc's got to talk about it.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton has to make that shot there, and that's a good timeout because the crowd's starting to come alive and get into this fourth quarter.
28 points for Hamilton. The #1 seed in the East, the Detroit Pistons, desperately trying to hang on to the home court advantage. They've given themselves a chance. Down 7, 4:27 to go. Timeout.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back, and here is our GMC Trucks game track. Tracy McGrady hoping to become the third 40-point scorer of the weekend. Already Nowitzki and Pierce. Pierce of the Celtics, Nowitzki of the Mavericks. Detroit staying alive at the free throw line, giving themselves a chance here, but still they trail it 90-83. Neither team with a foul to give. Both teams with timeouts. Here's Gooden working on Wallace on the inside. And Wallace defending him that time.
That was physical playoff basketball.
Williams rolls in, and it's a 5. They lose him in transition.
Nice job by Carlos Williamson to run the floor. And an excellent defensive stand by Ben Wallace in the paint. In a one-on-one situation with Drew Gooden.
Phillips trying to take McGrady. McGrady switches in as Phillips is in pain. Perhaps took an elbow or an arm to the stomach area and backed off of him. And McGrady now with 40 points, 14 this quarter. The third 40-point scorer of the weekend. Billups up firing at the other end. Wow. Looks like he hurt his hand, as you can see the grimace there. It's 92-87. Lead is 5 now.
This back and forth play is unbelievable.
7 with Armstrong.
Teams are trading punches right now. McGrady last time down the floor had to shoot a high arcer off the glass over Ben Wallace. Billups comes back with that jumper from about the free throw line. The Magic come right back and knock down a jumper.
Garrity with tough D on Williamson. He fronted him, and Rip Hamilton could not get the ball into Williamson on the post, and the Pistons turned it over, and credit Garrity. He took away the entry pass to Williamson. McGrady on the move to the left hand. Now drive out here by Billups. Big possession for the Pistons, and a foul is going to be called.
Wow, Pat Garrity trying to keep up with Billups in the open floor, and he's playing hurt. And Billups forcing the action, doing a terrific job attacking. Here's McGrady. And he has to put up a high archer. Watch Ben Wallace go after it. He's definitely trying to get that ball. Watch both players elevate. McGrady first, and look at Ben Wallace. He's trying desperately to protect that goal.
40 free throws have been shot by the Pistons.
You just watch this, and you see the intensity and the effort by both players. Tracy McGrady just putting on a stunning display of one-on-one basketball.
And they've made 35 of 41 free throws here. They're down 5 with 2.5 minutes. Billups on a switch to McGrady. Robinson ready to double on him. Probably should have gone through with the shot that time.
Yeah.
Sean, it's one of the few times that I've seen McGrady make a decision that I would second guess in this game.
Well, he lost his footing and he was unable to elevate. If he put up a shot there, it might have gotten destroyed by Ben Wallace since he missed that first one. He was coming after that second one with a vengeance.
Better believe that. We'll take a break now. It's 94-89. Lead is 5. 2:22. Timeout.
I know there are a few fans out there looking for Game 6 between the Lightning and Capitals. The puck has not dropped. They have not started yet. It will start in moments. But meanwhile, we have basketball to finish. Let's head back to Detroit. That game next on ESPN, though.
All right, Kevin, here it is 94-89. Magic with the lead. 2:22 to go. The Magic with 2 timeouts remaining. One a full, the other a 20. The Pistons down to their last one. There have been 32 fouls called on Orlando in this game and 17 on Detroit. And now the Magic will use that 20-second timeout. I don't believe Doc wanted that. Doc didn't want it used right there.
No, he didn't. You can see how frustrated he was talking to his players as they're heading back to the huddle. Didn't Sal say earlier in the game that this might make it to 100? Didn't look like it early on, but these teams certainly settled down. Got to a nice flow.
Exactly right. A 32-27 third quarter. The Pistons scoring the 32. There were 59 points put up in the third quarter. And remember, early in the fourth, this was a 1-point game, and then our friend Tracy McGrady went on a 10-0 scoring spurt. And right now it's a 5-point game. And the important thing here is to watch the shot clock. 6 left on the shot clock. Very important now for the Piston defense to hold the fort here.
And you see Tracy McGrady taking the ball out of bounds. You've got to be careful that he doesn't pass it and come back and get the ball. Exactly what he's got.
5, not looking at the shot clock. Got to come up firing. Forces it. A rookie mistake. Didn't swing the ball quickly to the outside with the shot clock coming down.
He couldn't get that ball back to Tracy McGrady.
Billups. Cut off. Back now to Williamson. He backs in. Power move. Not there, and then Gooden at the other end. rebounds, but the foul against Orlando.
It's going to be on Guerrero. And that's unfortunate for the Magic because Drew Gooden had the beat, obviously, on the rebound. But Guerrero going over the back of Ben Wallace, who was behind Drew Gooden.
That's the 33rd foul called here on Orlando.
You see it there. He's pulling down Wallace, and there's no reason. Wallace just shrugs him off. That's how strong he is.
Now what this does, of course, keeps the clock stopped, gives Detroit a chance to cut into this lead at 94-90.
And here he is, Ben Wallace on the other end, my defensive player of the year. And that's where he shows the rookie, or he puts the rookie in his place.
Inside of 2 minutes. If you're Orlando, you want the ball in McGrady's hands now as much as possible. You want him to bring it up. You want him to take the shot. Gooden trying to screen. Robinson has jumped in on McGrady. He'll defend him. Wallace on a switch now. McGrady crossover. McGrady goes, hangs in the air. Short. He wanted Gooden, and he double thought, and as he clutched, he came up short on the shot. Now in a three-point situation.
I want to say great defense, but they left him wide open for a 6-footer.
Phillips waits now, and they hit Williamson. Phillips the three ball. Wallace to save it, and out of bounds. It'll go over to Orlando, 94-91, 1:17 to go.
That shot from Phillips, we were right behind that. Looked like it was on line.
Instead, he's 3 of 15. He's missed 7 three-point shots here today. But he'll keep firing. He has been the money man. You folks who have not watched the Pistons, he's been the guy to take the big shot. You can't quit now, even though you're struggling.
He's hit a number of buzzer beaters this year. And like you said, he has been the go-to guy down the stretch.
Trying to sync up the clocks here. Now it goes. 94-91. The hockey game, I understand, has just started. Obviously, we will be picking up. McGrady short on that shot off the iron. Phillips runs it down.
And you got to be careful here when that ball comes off the rim and the Pistons come down with it. It's not a time to foul. There it is. Cook Robinson doing an excellent job on Tracy McGrady. Nice contest. Look at Pat Garrity driving toward the rebound, and you see Drew Gooden. Sometimes you have a little too much energy. It's not a good foul in this situation.
Phillips back on the free throw line. Makes this a 2-point game. 102.
Detroit manages to pull this game out. They're going to have to feel awfully good about themselves. Phillips hasn't had a good shooting day. Barry, for that matter. Really, they haven't played their best basketball by any means.
But they've stayed alive at that free throw line. 39 of 46 now. 39 of 46. They're on a 14-4 run. They have cut a 12-point lead down to 1 again. Timeout. One-point game here with 1:02 left. And the Pistons held on to their last timeout. That's very important. Let's take you back now to the end of the third quarter. There was a moment here, Sean.
Yeah, Chucky Atkins taking the ball down the floor, banks in that three-pointer. And then he came back to start the fourth quarter with another three. And that got the crowd into this ball game.
Tracy McGrady today is 15 of 28. A 40-point afternoon. Much of the second quarter he sat out. He's put 14 on the board here in the money quarter. If you're looking for the hockey now, you can switch to ESPN2. Last 1:02. Second comes off the clock. Full court pressure on Orlando. Now it's McGrady, and Robinson is taking him all the way down the stretch. They jump him with Hamilton, but it's going to be Cliff Robinson's man. McGrady blows to the baseline, and Robinson stays with him, and the foul is going to be called. Cliff did not agree with that call.
He's on the floor. If he's shaken up or not, that's the question, or if he's just frustrated. Here's the penetration. Trying to make something happen. He looks like he gets ball first. A little bit of body and ball. Ball could go either way.
41 points. And McGrady's 8 of 9 at the free throw line.
We put the Clerk in there coming in now, and Jacques Vaughn. Both these guys are hawks on the defensive end. High energy guys coming in. It's going to make it extremely difficult for the Pistons to get another good shot off.
It's a three-point game, and McGrady now with 42 points.
I want Chauncey Billups to take this three if he has the opportunity. This guy's been the money man, just like you said, Brent, all year long.
Robinson go low now to Williamson. With 35 seconds, Gooden banging on him. Williamson goes for the two. Battle for the rebound, and Gooden coming up with it, draws the jump ball, I believe, as Wallace stuck right with him. Doc Rivers very unhappy with that call. He thought Gooden was fouled.
Here's the play. Ben just staying in the play, trying to take that ball away from the young fella.
.27 seconds, 96-93. Billups is the man. Can't get the roll. And it goes over to Orlando with 16 seconds to go.
Wow, nice concentration by Chauncey Billups, just unable to get that shot to fall. Much like his driver got a three-point play earlier in this half.
It was off the Clerk's shoulder, so the ball should have gone to Detroit. Right here, now watch, the ball is off the Clerk's shoulder.
No question.
Gurchek is fouled immediately with 14 seconds to go. So he'll be coming up to the free throw line, attempting to make this a two-possession game.
That's just a bad break for the Pistons. Twice, actually. That ball was in and out for Chauncey Billups. And then for the ball to hit off the Clerk. And not get it back.
Well, the young man from Croatia. An NBA rookie, but very experienced, makes this a two-possession game, 97-93. And again, it'll start on ESPN2. Then it'll switch back to ESPN a little bit later. Calmly, Gurchek knocks down both free throws. Pistons with their last timeout, trailing now by 5 and 15 seconds to go here.
Yeah, Gurchek stepped up to the line like he was unafraid to shoot those free throws, like he really didn't understand how enormous that situation is. He's been there before, Brent. He's been playing professionally overseas for a lot of years.
So the Eastern bracket, this is the matchup of 1 and 8 there at the top. And the winner here would meet the winner of 4-5 Philly, New Orleans. They'll start tonight on TNT at 8 Eastern. Boston breaking through in Indianapolis, New Jersey, holding the home court advantage with a relatively easy win over the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday. And as you look back on that game now, and we read the story that Gary Payton and a couple of the other Bucks had to fly up to Toronto and turn themselves in at a dispute. Now you begin to realize what might have distracted Gary Payton. He just did not seem himself in yesterday's game, and Jason Kidd and the Nets had a pretty easy afternoon of it. And here, the #1 seed now in danger, serious danger of losing the home court advantage, as Orlando has taken a 5-point lead behind Tracy McGrady with 15 seconds to go. So what would you do here, Sean? Go for the quick hoop and then the foul and try to slow this down as much as possible?
If you don't get the quick hoop, you better knock down the three. You're in big time trouble here.
Well, maybe they can dial up Amari Stoudemire or Stephon Marbury.
You're not bringing that up to like punch me in the ribs,
No,
are you?
I hated to remind you of that. I didn't need to do that. No. Ben Wallace playing the game, coming back after missing the last 6 games. T-Mac today, folks, tied his career playoff high with the 42, and that's also a franchise record for the Orlando Magic. And beginning to answer the question, can Tracy McGrady carry the Orlando Magic past a 1 seed? He's 15 seconds away from answering at least 25% of that question. Right. Remember now, the first round is best 4 of 7. But McGrady put this team on his shoulders after it became a 1-point lead earlier, scored 10 consecutive points at 3.5 minutes. That's the difference. Phillips is picked up by Juracek. He will attack and foul on the free throw line.
I was just going to say, you have to go quickly here. Even 5 seconds is a lot of time off the clock.
Somewhat surprised that Orlando took a foul here. The clerk number 5, they're in the penalty situation. I would think, Sean, that the one thing you would want to do is just really keep the clock moving, even if you gave the field goal up, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're exactly right. There's no question about it. You don't want to be fouling in this situation. It's much the same way that Drew Gooden fouled on the opposite end. And you send their guys, and that time was Chauncey Billups into the free throw line. You have to know when to foul. You can't make these kind of mistakes down the stretch.
This has just been a shooting nightmare. Phillips just could never get his floor game going. Has helped keep them alive at the free throw line. The pushing foul is called. 9.5 seconds. Orlando leading 98-94.
Well, there's no question now that you got to go for a 3-ball. Tracy McGrady, the way he's knocked down his free throws this afternoon, you figure he's going to at least give you 1 out of 2, if not both of them.
And it would be a career playoff high for him. Brady has tied his former personal record. It's Penny Hardaway, I believe, who has scored the 42, and not Shaquille O'Neal. And Penny Hardaway on the winning Phoenix team, you tend to overlook him when you think about the Suns right now, and Stephon Marbury and Sean Marion in that game. Pretty underrated basketball team out west. And now McGrady with a personal high of 43 points.
And 43 or maybe 44, 43 tough points.
Orlando gets back the miss, and they'll just run out the remaining seconds. And the Orlando Magic has taken the home court advantage away from the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Detroit loses it. 99-94 is the final. So Ben Wallace and the Pistons now must regroup and come back hard in game 2. We send you to Jack Edwards.
Notch over.